And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is August 16th and a little bit cooler weather today. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today, Juanita Skillman will be here from United. They had their meeting a couple, 3 days ago. And then today they have their Meet the Candidates that are coming up at 10 o'clock. So if you're watching us in the morning, you can stay tuned for that. Also, we're going to bring you a segment with Sterling Financial with Dan Allweiler. Also, American Legion, Post 257, Joe Rainey will be here. He is the commander of that post. And then we're going to bring you a segment with Hearing Remedy. Now, as I said, Meet the Candidates for United is coming up at 10 o'clock today in the boardroom. So those of you who live in United, you're, of course, welcome to tune in live or come on down to the boardroom and you can submit questions. I think there's like 8 or 9 candidates that are going to be there today. Now, the weather today, we're going to start to cool it down a little bit by a few degrees compared to what we've had. It's been very warm the last few days. Still have that inversion layer I told you about yesterday, where there's actually warmer weather above the fog layer that pushes the cooler weather, the cooler temperatures and the fog down upon us. So that'll dissipate as it did yesterday. So cooler today by probably, I'm hoping by about 6, 7, 8 degrees or so. Even more so on Saturday and Sunday. Now, as we get to next week, we're going to start to see that climb back up. So by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday of next week, we're going to have a repeat of what we just have. We should be in the upper 80s, maybe even touching 90 degrees or so. So enjoy the next really about 3, 4 days of below normal temperatures, especially this weekend. Looking around the state, it's kind of the same thing as far as temperatures. Fairly mild for August. I mean, look at this. Just about everywhere you go. I mean, even Palm Springs, I'm giving you their average for the weekend. That's going down by, maybe about 8 degrees from just yesterday and the day before. So throughout the state, we're going to have below normal temperatures. Up and down the coast, you'll see a lot of that marine layer coming in. And that'll be nice cooling effect for the next few days. So looking pretty darn good. All right, we will be back in just a moment.
Mom and I take on some of the nastiest places in our neighborhood.
If the home has good bones, we'll turn them into amazing spaces.
And we're just getting started.
Get out of my way, boys.
Oh my God.
Wow!
It's gorgeous.
Go ahead, toot your own horn. Toot, toot.
All new Good Bones, Tuesday at 9 on HGTV.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Summer is here. Diane's Hallmark has everything you need to make summer cool. From clothing to jewelry to unique one-of-a-kind gifts, Diane's Hallmark is the place to go. Diane's also has a large religious section as well. Come in today to see it all. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Walmart Shopping Center next to Hobby Lobby.
At the Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback, you will always find a friendly face to guide you through your annual mammogram visit. Our staff, dedicated subspecialist breast radiologists, knowledge, and innovative technology await your visit to our center. With the Laguna Woods shuttle service right at our sidewalk, this convenient location offers you quick access for your appointment. You can expect nothing but the best for all your breast health needs at Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback.
Hi,
I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Welcome back. With me, as I said, is Juanita Skillman. She is the board president of United. And I got scolded because I said at the Meet the Candidates, people could come and ask questions, but they can't. There's prepared questions. So she set me straight.
Well, we have to do that because we have so many candidates, which is wonderful. We have 9 candidates this year. And if we had questions from the audience, we would be there all day. Okay. And we only have 2 hours. So.
And there is 3 openings, am I right?
There are 3 openings, and we have 9 candidates, 7 of whom, 6 will be there. We have 2 who could not be here for the Meet the Candidates today. Right. And I'm sorry to say, Janie Durrell filmed, and we will have a video clip of her opening statement, et cetera. Right. She's at a family reunion in Montana for her birthday, and 2 grandsons that are being deployed to Afghanistan.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, and I'm not sure Gregory McLaughlin's not going to be here also, but he just let us know yesterday, or Wednesday, that he wasn't going to be here, so we didn't have a chance to film him. Okay. But he will be available other times.
All right, very good.
Let's do a quick recap of the meeting that we had Tuesday. The most important thing, I think, that came out of that was we elected our new VMS board director to replace Ron Bellner, who passed away. And it's Dorothy Purcell, and she is wonderful. We are just thrilled.
Yes, I know her, and she's really a great person.
Her representing United on the VMS board. And so our constituents will get to see her because she'll be making regular reports at our meetings.
But all right. Yeah, she's really nice.
We're very thrilled to have her. Under unfinished business, which is where we actually vote on things, we did 2 things. First of all, we did adopt the resolution for enforcement of the move-in, move-out rules, and that was a change of the hours because we had had complaints from many residents that people were moving in at night and there was too much noise and confusion, et cetera, and we're supposed to have a peaceful, quiet environment. So you have to have everything complete by 8 o'clock at night instead of midnight. So there's nobody moving in at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Right. So we did pass that. And we also adopted the resolution on traffic school eligibility that we were asked by security, all of the boards, to do. And basically what that said was you cannot substitute traffic school for major moving violations. They're ineligible to just do traffic school. They need to go learn what they did wrong and how to do it better. Now, traffic school is open to anybody out there who wants to pay the $20, and if you want to learn, you can do it. But we had the rule that you could substitute, instead of paying a fine, you could substitute going to traffic school. And security felt that needed to be changed, which it did. Now, we also passed or sent on to our September meeting a revised resolution to allow guarantors. Now, this is something that's been in, been out, and the big change there is we allow guarantors now, but the guarantor has to be in California and their assets have to be in California. Because the problem that we had before was there was no reciprocity between us and other states. And if they were either out of the country or they lived in another state, we couldn't go after them, even though they were a guarantor. If there was a default, they really didn't have to pay. So we made those changes, and it will go forward to our September meeting for actual approval. And it's up for 28-day member review. If you'd like to see it, if you would like to comment on it, please do. That's why we have this month in between when it's first read and when it's actually passed.
I have a question on that. If someone has a guarantor and that happens when they move in?
Yes,
normally?
it's when they qualify financially.
Okay. What happens if that guarantor moves out of the state a year or two from now?
Well, that's always a problem, and
Okay.
sometimes, I mean, literally, they can pass away, and the guarantor's not there anymore.
Right.
And so, therefore, having the guarantor gets them into the village,
Okay.
but it leaves the village hanging because the reason they had a guarantor was because somebody had difficulty paying financially,
Right.
and we can't go back to the guarantor. So
Okay.
that's one of the reasons we did away with it. But now
Okay.
we're bringing it back. We'll see
Okay.
how that works. We also passed the 2020 collection and lien enforcement policy, which is exactly what we've had for a number of years. And this will come out in your November packet when you get all of the information. We send out twice a year. And the only change that we made on that was the date.
Okay.
It's just like 2019, only it says
Right,
2020.
right.
And last but not least, in our new business, we approved supplemental funding for the 2019 water heater replacement program. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. Our water heater replacement program was put on hold for almost a year because of some problems we had with city permits. And they wanted us to have a certain device. They didn't like the one that we had, whatever. So it ended up we had quite a backlog of water heater replacements. And we put money in the budget, and we started it this year, and as of now, August, we have used up all the money that we had, and we have not completed all the backlog. And so we did a supplemental funding of over $900,000 to try to finish up this backlog so that we're not, I mean, we could have just stopped and waited until January to start again. And we said, no, the people are here, they know what they're doing, we've got people waiting for them, let's go ahead and continue it. So we did put in the supplemental funding. But that's why we have reserves.
Right.
That's why we have our there. It's that kind of thing that really makes a difference in our reserve funding. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about reserve funding because that's been a prominent subject from some of our directors. When we had our budget meetings, basically we're looking at a $5 increase in our reserves. We have to keep putting money in. You can't just keep taking money out. And we can't try to keep it at a minimum. But this shows that in 2019, our per man or per month charged for reserves only, not the whole assessment, was $148. And now it's going up $4 to $152.02. And you can see in subsequent years it goes up $4 or $5. We had tried to do it an even $5 every time, but that didn't quite work. So this will be, but of course it's voted on every year. All we know is for this year. And we want to be able to keep our reserves strong enough so when we have unusual expenses, and please, God forbid, any kind of a disaster or something like that, we have the money to support the mutual. The board of directors is the board of directors of United Mutual Corporation. And our number one prime responsibility is to keep the mutual strong, to make sure that we have the money, to make sure that there's no nasty things being said about us. We have to reply to anything that affects the mutual. And of course that means the citizens. All of our residents are part of that mutual. But they think of me, of course, we all do. They're more individually, what does it mean to me? And we have to look at the big picture and say, what does it mean to the mutual? And so we feel that keeping the mutual strong is what we have to do. And the next slide will show you, this is from our reserve study, and the yellow line means that we are at medium risk for a special assessment. And that goes down to 2034 as long as we keep putting in this minimum amount per man or per month all the time. And it shows that right now we're 39.8. We'd like to be 40%. That's pretty close. Funded, and we'll almost never be 100% funded, which is what reserve studies always like, and that's way down here in 2049. Right. But it shows that for the next, through 2035, we will still be in the medium category, but that's livable.
Yeah, okay.
Now, one of the proposals that was made by one of our directors was to lower the cost, the amount that we put into the fund, instead of from 148 going down to 139, which would lower the residents' monthly assessments. But it also lowers what we have in our reserves and does not make us as strong. And the last slide that shows we would be in the red zone, which is high risk for special assessment. We have never had a special assessment in the village, and we don't want one. It's a real shock when you have a special assessment and all of a sudden you owe $10,000 besides your per man or per month. And it's very common with common interest developments and homeowners associations that happens if there is any kind of an unusual event. Well, we want to make sure that we are adequately funded to be able to take care of that. And what we saw was that if we did this reduction, yes, it would mean that the per man or per month assessment went down for a year or two, but it also would put us in great danger. You can see the red line there. For a number of years, and then medium, we would never get to the green line of being low assessment.
Right.
Buddy. So the board as a whole voted against it, and I just wanted everybody to know that's why we were looking out for the mutual as a whole, and we felt that this was the best way that we could do the budget. We do know that the assessment is going up this year. Right now, I believe it's about $24.50 per manor per month, and we also have to figure in the assessment from GRF. Now, GRF's been really good. People are always blaming GRF and saying, well, if you didn't do this, or if you didn't upgrade this clubhouse, or if you didn't build this sports there, whatever, our assessments would be down that much. Their assessment is not that much. It's $2.05 per manor per month, added on to our assessment, which makes a total of $603.04 per manor per month as our assessments. Now, a $600 level is very medium. If you look outside the gates, you look at other associations, et cetera, $600 is a very medium, and they don't get anywhere near what we get, particularly in United, because as a co-op, we get a lot of services that, for instance, Third doesn't get. Those are all chargeable services on top of that, and we just feel like it is a good bargain for the money. But we are doing what has been kicked down the road for years in our infrastructure. We are really working to make sure that our housing is going to last for another 50 years.
Right.
And we figure, again, that's our duty as the board for the corporation, is to look out for the strength of that. And nobody likes an assessment to go up, but sometimes it's necessary. Costs go up. Your cost of a loaf of bread at the grocery store, I'm sure none of your grocery store bills are anywhere near what they were 5 years ago. And it's the same way with almost all of our utilities, although I have to say there's been some controversy about our electricity and our solar costing us that much money. There was a mistaken saying when one of our members was on ThisDay and said we had lost $30 million. No, we have not. The solar thing was a little over $3 million.
Okay.
And she just put an extra O on there, slip of the tongue. But our electricity for the coming year is way down compared with our other utilities, telephone, sewer, water. Water has gone up quite a bit in sewer.
Yes, it has.
And our electricity, because of our solar that helps take care of the electricity for the common area, which is what the mutual pays for, is way down. $2.44 for $2.49 up from $2.44. So we feel like it is starting to pay for itself. Any kind of a big project like solar takes a while to work out bumps in
Yes,
the
it
first
does.
year or two.
Yeah.
And we're finally getting into a good swing, and we really feel like we're going to get a good return on the investment that we made for that. The budget meeting keeps being shown on VTV.
Yes,
And
it'll be
if you
shown
want-
again this Sunday. I forget what time.
I think it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I
it's
could be
something.
wrong.
Yeah, 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock. The third is one, and you
Right.
guys are another, and I forget which
Right.
time it is.
But if you have questions about it, it's on website, and you can see
Yeah.
it on VTV. And if you have questions, that's again what your board is here for. We are here to answer the questions. And so don't just listen to rumors and boop, 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 boop among neighbors if you don't have the facts.
Right.
And make sure that you know what's going on. So last but not least, please, everybody come to or watch the candidate forum at 10 o'clock this morning, and that also will be repeated later on.
Yes.
And we have 7 of our 9 candidates who will be there, and they're going to have opening statements, and then they will answer some prepared questions.
Okay.
And then closing statements, and we will get it all done, I promise, in 2 hours, which is what VTV has allotted us. Constance Sorensen is going to be our moderator, and we're really pleased with the selection of candidates that we have this time. We have 3 seats available and 3 times as many candidates, so there's
Yeah.
lots of choice out there for our members.
All right. Thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
And you got a busy morning coming
Busy day,
up.
busy day.
And we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
take care.
Good
Bye-bye.
to see you.
This is how we burger, brew, and cue. Pick a town. Arrive hungry, real hungry. Start with a massive burger. Charred, juicy. Add bacon, a buttery bun, pile high. Serve it up. Wash it down. Creamy, hoppy, fruity, malty. We're not done yet. Q-tie, deep fried, sauce soaked, pork ribs, meaty, tender. I'm full. Where to next?
All new Burgers, Brew, and Q. Tuesday at 9. Cooking Channel. Stay fired up.
Welcome back. Did you know that hearing loss can actually be related to Alzheimer's and dementia? I had no idea that that can happen, but Ken Post is here to tell us a little bit about what is going on. Well, welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again, yes.
So, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about some hearing loss, factors. What does that entail?
One of the things they learned, and they've been doing a lot of studies, one of the things they've learned is how much blood flow it takes in the inner ear. The cochlea needs good blood flow to hear well. Okay. So anything that affects that can affect your hearing. And that's from diabetes, high blood pressure, even lack of exercise. That you don't get as good blood flow, you don't get it, your hearing can diminish because you don't have enough blood flow to have that cochlea, the inner ear, to work properly.
Wow. I hear exercise all the time when we talk to various people. And it's true, getting your blood flow is really a good thing, and the exercising, which is interesting because you wouldn't think that your ears would have that much trouble.
Yeah, well, your ears, your eyes, all our important parts, they all take blood flow. So.
Okay, all right, good. Hearing and cognitive decline. So I know we talked a little bit about some of the other things that can happen, but when you say cognitive decline, what are you referring to?
In general, as we age, our brain slows down, We can't do so many things at one time. I remember being able to do multitask like crazy. It's like, no, give me one task now. I'm pretty good. I can maybe break into that. But it's just a natural way. It's just our brain. But we can do a lot of things to keep the brain more active and keep things going. The more things we keep the brain going with, the healthier our brain stays.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do, is keep our brain healthy over the period of time so we can get to an older age and still function well.
So by having a hearing aid or hearing aids, what are some of the benefits by having a hearing aid that can contribute to development of our brain?
Okay. Well, one of the things that can happen with as we don't hear as well, we tend to lose the high frequencies. There's certain consonants, letters that have high frequencies in them. There's T, S, TH, they have high frequencies in them.
Okay.
As we lose that, we have trouble distinguishing those letters.
Okay.
So we know someone's saying something because we hear all the other letters, but we don't hear certain letters that are important to know what the word is.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of people say, you're mumbling.
Oh,
Literally, it does sound that way. You lose as you lose that high frequency and you lose certain letters.
Yes.
It's just like someone's mumbling.
Oh, wow.
You don't get it. You know that when someone mumbles, you know they're saying something. There's no doubt in your mind.
Right, right.
So your brain starts to try to figure out other ways. So the brain's going to go maybe use context. You never put a cat on your head, so it must have been a hat.
Oh.
This kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that, and your brain's using your eyes. You can see when someone says a T, your lips do a certain movement. So your brain starts picking up clues from your eyes to figure out what the wording is.
Right.
And context. Well, if you can think about it, your brain's, oh, what was that word? I'm trying to figure out, well, in the meantime, the conversation is still flowing. So now your brain's working overtime trying to catch up with the conversation.
Wow, okay.
All this stuff works kind of against you because your brain's using a ton of energy.
Right.
People get exhausted after a conversation because you're using more than you need to from your eyes and just figuring out what the words are.
Right.
And it also makes it harder to remember. It's harder to take those words and put them into the memory part of your brain when your brain's working overtime trying to figure out the conversation.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that kind of work against you as you don't hear well.
Yeah.
And as you bring that up so you can hear all those things, now I got other things I can do with my brain. I can be remembering better. Our memory loss is tied in to hearing.
Right.
Now people theorized it. Now they've been spending the last 15, 20 years doing studies and proving that that is the case. It is the case that when people have normal hearing, they're looking at those aren't the people that are tending towards dementia and Alzheimer's. It's people that aren't hearing well. They're not exercising the brain well.
Right.
Another thing that we wouldn't think of at all is that our brain has a part of it from the caveman days that is always listening to everything going on. Like, I just heard a funny noise over there.
Okay.
The brain's trying to figure out, it hears these in the background. It goes, I know that noise. I'm not even going to bring it up to consciousness.
Right.
I know this noise. You hear something weird? What's that?
Right.
And most of those sounds are high frequency sounds that we tend to lose.
Right.
And if we're not doing that, we're not exercising that part of the brain that's protecting us. It's keeping an animal from sneaking up and taking a bite out of us.
Oh, gosh.
We don't worry about it anymore, right? But it was a problem, many, many years ago.
Well, right, and those poor people never heard it coming. So, what were they going to do? There was no hearing aids then.
Yeah.
So you kind of went into a little bit about dementia and Alzheimer's, but tell me how, loss of hearing does affect those.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing studies, and they've noticed that. It's more likely that you're going to go into dementia and Alzheimer's when you don't have hearing, when you don't have good hearing. People, they look at, what's the likelihood if you have really good hearing of doing that? And they're looking at the numbers from their studies going, look, there's a correlation between hearing well and dementia and Alzheimer's. But then the other question was, well, but if you're wearing hearing aids, does that help you? Or is it somehow all tied together, and if your hearing's not good, it's not going to be that way. So they had to then do more studies to say, okay, if someone has hearing aids, does that get them back into the good hearing column when it comes to dementia and Alzheimer's? They found out, yes, it does help.
Okay.
There's a slight difference in some studies, and there's no difference in some studies. So they've shown that, oh, yes, the hearing aids get you back into a better chance of avoiding those things.
Okay, well, and also sociability we talked a little bit about, because, you know, if you can hear better, then you can have a better conversation, you can be more involved, you can hear what's going on around you. Okay, so now speaking about, we've been leading up to, you know, the whole hearing thing. So show us the tiny German designed hearing aid that you have with you, which you can't see now.
With me,
you can't see it, no.
And you probably never guessed that I was wearing a hearing aid.
And look how tiny that is.
Look how tiny this is.
So tiny.
These are not custom ones. Usually you have to have custom. This has a piece that's the same for everybody, and just the end of it is set up for by the whoever's setting your hearing aids up. Is going to find the right piece that will be comfortable in your ear and keep it in the ear.
Oh.
So you don't have to wait. These can be dispensed first time. You sit down and we can get these on you, and you walk out with a. With better hearing.
So now because it's not custom, does that make it a little more affordable? Or are they still because of the technology?
You're paying for the technology inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And there are different levels of these.
Sure.
So they're more affordable. This is the second generation of these. So the first generation comes down in price some.
Okay.
So we do have more of a spectrum. When they first came out, yes, it was only high end.
Right.
Now we're going from middle to high end with these.
Well, right, and we were talking before the segment a little bit about how hearing aids can become more affordable, and as technology improves, you know, like we were talking about phones, when they come out with the iPhone 10, you know, the iPhone 6 and 7 and 8 become less expensive.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the hearing aids, right?
Exactly the same thing. As the high end, they find out some other great bell and whistle everybody wants.
Right.
Well, the next one comes down in price. So what's great is the last 3-4 years, hearing aids have done an incredible amount of improvement.
Right.
I mean, amazing. So now you find out if you buy a hearing aid that was, say, made 3 years ago, well, you save a lot more money. You may save $2,000-3,000 on that, on a pair, but you're getting that technology, that huge improvement that's been going on is now trickling down into the lower prices.
Good. Well, that's good for people who are bargain shoppers and want to hear better. Well, thank you so much. It was very nice of you to share that information. So now put that back in so you can hear.
Get that back in.
All right. And if you want more information, you can always call the Hearing Remedy at 949-340-8438.
Anyone who calls it a hobby doesn't understand. We know that a person's passion is what drives them. And that's why every memorial we create is a true reflection of the individual. Only a Dignity Memorial professional can celebrate a life like no other. Find out how at dignityorangecounty.com.
Welcome back. With me today is Joe Rainey, and Joe is the commander of American Legion Post 257 right here in Laguna Woods, and it's great to have you back, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, always good to have you folks on. Let's first, get people moving in here new all the time.
Sure.
And maybe they don't know much about the American Legion. I think everyone has heard about it. But why don't you tell us kind of a brief history about it?
Sure, I'd be glad to. The American Legion was founded in 1919 by an act of Congress. So our charter was enacted by the act of Congress.
Okay.
Breaking news, everybody out there. They just changed our charter. The Congress last week just approved, voted, and President Trump just signed the bill. It's called the Legion Act, which allows anyone that served in the U.S. Armed Forces during what we call peacetime. So that would be between Korea, Vietnam, and from the end of the Vietnam War up until 2001. There's a lot of residents out there, I've talked to them, that previously we said, I'm sorry, but you had to serve during times of war to be eligible to join the Legion. And they said, oh man, we really want to join. I said, well, there's nothing we can do. Last week, Congress just passed the Legion Act, which now gives eligibility to any veteran that served honorably in the U.S. Armed Forces during peacetime to now join the American Legion.
That's good. Now, is the American Legion part of the military? In other words, it's funded by the military?
No. Okay. We're self-funded. Our headquarters is Indianapolis, Indiana. Our post funds ourselves, and our main reason for the American Legion is to help rehabilitate and help veterans in need. That's our primary goal.
Okay.
So you might see us on the corners in front of the markets selling, we don't sell poppies, we give poppies to residents, and if they want to make a donation, that money goes in our little poppy fund, and we use that money to help veterans. There's a veteran right now at this moment that we're trying to help. He's going to be evicted, he can't afford the rent in the towers, and we're desperately, he's our #1 project right now, to get him back on his feet, get him a job, and get him money so he can stay in the village. So there's other things the Legion does. Our posts for over 50 years have gone up to the Long Beach Veterans Hospital.
Right.
We go up the second Sunday of every month, and we visit the patients, and we play bingo with them, and we visit them in their beds in the wards, and we just support them and show them that people still care. There's a lot of organizations that do that, but that's one way we help. We also go to Camp Pendleton and help the school there. All the kids, their parents are in either the Marine Corps or the Navy, and we try and help the classrooms, give the teachers some money, and that's what we do with our poppy money.
And tell us the reason of the poppies, because there is history behind that, because they're a red poppy that you guys have and raise funds with.
I cannot quote it, but it's a poem written by a British officer in World War I. It's called Flanders Field. And in Flanders Field, the red poppies grow. It's basically where at the end of World War I, or the war to end all wars, there were thousands and thousands of soldiers buried in Belgium and France that were not brought back home. And the next spring, all the red poppies came up over their graves.
Right.
So that's kind of symbolic of remembering those who have served in the past. And so we ask for donations. You don't have to. We'll give you a poppy for free if you want one. But it's just remembrance of all of those in the armed forces that never came home.
Yeah, very good.
And we use that money to help veterans.
And here it is. We found this online, and this tells you all about this. So that's fantastic. By the way, the website al257.org, so it's very easy to find. But on here, people can go on and find out all kinds of information, where your meetings are, just the history of the poppy here, all kinds of things. And this is nice if anyone wants to take the time to read that, they can find that.
Well, thank you for putting that up. Our website, 257.org, al257.org, that gives you all the information. The annual dues are only $45. We have monthly meetings the fourth Thursday of every month, and that's $15 a person to cover the cost of the catering.
And above and beyond, it also gives veterans a place to go once a month and camaraderie there, and meet other veterans and get involved with a lot of different things.
And we have good entertainment. And again, it's going to be the fourth Thursday of every month, except for November, December. Our fourth Thursday in November every year is on Thanksgiving Day. So we don't have a dinner there. And in December, this year, it's going to be on Christmas Eve.
Right.
So we're not able to get another clubhouse to move it before or after the holidays.
So a couple months there without a meeting then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in November, we're actually going to meet on November 8th.
Oh, okay, so you will
I'm sorry,
have one.
November 14th,
Okay.
excuse me.
All right.
So we're moving it up a couple of weeks for
And
that.
then one Sunday out of every month, you folks go to the
Second Sunday of every
Center.
month, we go up to the hospital. Everyone is invited to join us. And basically, you just show the veterans in the wheelchairs at the hospital that someone still cares about them.
Yeah, very nice.
And we play bingo, and they win a lot of canteen books that they can use in the commissary at the hospital.
Very good.
So it's actually a lot of fun.
I love that.
I want to point one thing out, Ken. Kathy Carlisle, who's a resident of Laguna Woods, every month, the couple of days before we go up to the hospital, we van pool from Clubhouse 3 at 5 o'clock. Every month she brings over lap robes. Maybe
lap robes?
Lap robes for the wheelchairs.
Okay.
And they use it to keep their legs warm when they're in their wheelchairs.
Okay.
And this month, the Crazy Quilters of Laguna Woods, they gave us 5 giant quilts. They're beautiful. And we gave them, and they were gone real quick. When the veterans come in to play bingo, we have a table with all the goodies for them, the food and refreshments and everything, but we also have items that they can use, and the quilts go so fast. So Crazy Quilters, Kathy Carlisle, thank you so much for what you do.
That's fantastic.
It's fun.
So other people can get involved,
sure, anybody.
even if they're not part of the Legion.
Sure.
That's great. Again, the website is al257.org. You can find out more information there. Their next meeting will be on next dinner, the 4th Thursday of this month.
September 28th.
Have we passed?
26th or
nothing in August?
We're dark in July and August.
Okay, all right. So it won't be September.
The 4th Thursday in September.
Okay, very good. And if they want to find out, can they call you? You put your number on here?
Well, the best thing to do is go on the website.
Okay. All right.
One last thing, if I have a moment.
Sure.
We joined a Orange County Veterans and Military Families Collaborative. There's 24 organizations in Orange County that are helping veterans besides the American Legion. Now, we just voted to join the coalition, and there's Orange County Rescue Mission, Service Office, Health Clinic, networking, wardrobes, legal. There's a STEP program out of San Diego. We get a lot, and we do, our post does give out wheelchairs or any medical devices the residents might need. So they would just contact the American Legion.
Okay.
And we have a post office box, which is on the website, P.O. Box 2246, Laguna Woods, Laguna Hills, California, 926.
926. I'm looking at that
92654. It's on the website.
Yeah, it's different than here. So
yeah. So if you want to communicate, but we've been around over 50 years now. We're going into our 3rd generation of veterans. Started with the World War I vets, went to World War II. They used to run it. Korean, they jumped in. I was in Vietnam, and now we're asking all the other veterans that served honorably. The door's open. Please join us. We'd love to have you. And we'd be honored to have all the veterans join our American Legion.
Very good. Joe, always good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
is Dan O'Weiler, the retirement professor. Thought we'd invite you into our offices and give you a tour of a little bit of what you might expect if you were coming to visit with us. And the first beautiful face that you see when you walk in the door is our client services representative, Gina. Gina, tell us a little bit about what you do here in the office and give people a little bit of idea of what they can expect.
Well, when you come in, I will greet you, and we always have treats available for you to help yourself. And then we'll have you go into our lovely lobby over there, and I'll get you started with your paperwork, and we'll get you into your meeting with Dan.
Gina's been a great addition to our staff. As I mentioned, we're a family-run business. If you've been with, seen our advertisements and commercials over the years, you know that it's a family-run business. I have 2 sons, a son-in-law working with us. Gina's been a great female touch to our office. She keeps us organized now, makes sure that we do what we're supposed to do on the female touch side of this, and it's been a great addition to the office. But I'll go in and show you our conference room and what you can expect when you come into an appointment. This is our conference room where you would come in and meet with us. This is my son-in-law, Ben. Ben is one of the associate advisors that we have on board. He came on about a year and a half ago. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ben, what you do here.
Yeah, as Dan mentioned, I'm an associate advisor here at Sterling Financial Advisors. I put on a lot of the seminar events as well as meet with people, run a lot of numbers, and want to make sure that we're able to accomplish your hopes and dreams in retirement by evaluating your current portfolios and maybe being able to assist in areas that we can so that you feel comfortable with where your funds are in retirement. So,
Ben's been a great asset to the company in regards of our marketing arm. He's kind of made it a little bit more cohesive. We've just kind of been out in the market doing what we do from here to there, and Ben's kind of come in and has got some expertise in marketing and just kind of tightened up our brand, our marketing material. It's been a great asset to us, but this is kind of where all the work takes place as we meet with people, and we'll sit down with you on a complimentary basis and kind of find out what your hopes and dreams are for retirement, and maybe we can do a little bit of help to help that. But I want to introduce you to some more of our staff, so we'll kind of go down the office and introduce that. This is actually our waiting area where you come in. As Gina mentioned, we have some coffee, treats. We even got some little promotional items here if you'd like. Our Sterling board here is just some pictures of our client events in the past that we've done. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk to Kyle, who's in charge of our client events. Last year we had our annual Christmas party. We sponsored the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We were able to raise enough money to sponsor 3 separate children for their Make-A-Wish Foundation, and hopefully they were able to enjoy that. But let's go down and see the other staff. This is our in-house attorney's office. He doesn't work for us, but he subleases office from us, and he works with a lot of our clients on their estate planning needs. Trust documents, wills, powers of attorneys. He specializes in that area. And as I mentioned, he helps with a lot of our clients. If they've got their own attorney, that's fine, but a lot of times they like it because they can come here to their office and have an in-house attorney. And this is our back room, so to speak. My son Kyle, he's in charge of our client events. Client events is, we call them our client appreciation events, which we put on during the year at no cost to our clients. Kyle, tell us a little bit about what your role is here.
Well, here at Sterling Financial Advisors, we take a lot of pride in the relationships that we develop with our clients, and I kind of head up a lot of that. Specifically, I plan, as Dan said, a lot of the events that we do. We do some social events throughout the year. For example, right now, I'm here figuring out an Angels game that we've got planned coming up in June. We're going to take some of our clients there, so we're working on getting some tickets for that game and getting a bus reserved for it. We do also some educational events, which are a little bit more for learning opportunities for some of our clients as well. And we do a lot of things to kind of take care of our clients and just develop those relationships. Sending them birthday cards, anniversary cards, just letting them know that you know, we're always thinking of them, that, you know, that we do value the relationship that we have with our clients.
And the pretty face of the business is my beautiful wife, Marilyn. Marilyn also has helped me over the year build this business, and she's not taken as much of an active role because we've grown and brought on new people. But Marilyn, tell us a little bit about your roles with Kyle and some of the things that you're doing.
Well, I primarily help Kyle plan the client events. We're, like you said, we're working on an angel event right now, going to an angel game, and it takes more than one man to do the job, so I pretty much help him organize it, and then I also help him with the birthday cards and take care of getting the office supplies and things like that for the office.
And the other employee that we've got is my son, Jason. Jason has, over the years, have helped us with the client servicing, the client needs, and we've kind of moved and shifted his responsibilities. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Jason, now.
Well, I've kind of shifted my roles. Now I'm more in charge of the audio-visual aspect of the business. Any videos that we need edited, any videos we need created, they'll come to me and I'll actually organize that. I'm in the process of setting up some podcasts that we're going to get rolling out here in the next couple of weeks. And then on the other side, I actually do any reports that we need set up and run for the business, for our clients, for the potential clients. They'll come back to me and I'll get those set up and I'll get those organized and all ready to go for our meetings.
So it's kind of a new segment that we've got, and we're expanding as we've grown over the years. We've kind of had to bring on more people. When we first started, it was my wife and I, then I brought on Jason, then we brought on Kyle, and we brought on Ben. And so we're kind of growing, and it's been a good experience for us as we've grown over the years. And so we just kind of wanted to invite you into our office and give you a little bit of a tour and meet our overall staff, and hopefully that's giving you a feel for what we wanted to do. So we'll kind of head out this way. So folks, on behalf of Sterling Financial Advisors, we hope you've enjoyed a little tour of our office. I know you've seen our commercials over the last few years on TV. I've been interviewed with Ken Goldenberg on This Day, but I wanted you to get to meet our staff a little bit, how we work with clients as they come in the door. We provide an opportunity to meet with anyone on a complimentary basis. We'll sit down, no charge, to kind of find out what your hopes and dreams are in retirement. If you'd like to take that opportunity to meet with us on a complimentary basis, feel free to give our offices a call. We'd be happy to set up a time that works for both of our calendars. We hope you have a great retirement in the future. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
And our movie today is an action crime drama called Miss Bala, and this is based on a film that came out a few years back, and it's about a woman who finds a power she never knew she had when she is drawn into the dangerous world of cross-border crime. Surviving will require all of her cunning, inventiveness, and strength, and as I said, this is based on a Spanish language film that came out, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago. That will be today. It stars Gina Rodriguez, and 2 o'clock with subtitles, and then 7 o'clock without subtitles. Our movie on Monday is a comedy starring Melissa McCarthy, and it's called Life of the Party. It's all about a woman, her husband suddenly dumps her, and a longtime dedicated housewife, Deanna, turns regret into reset by going back to college, landing in the same class and school as her daughter, who's not entirely sold on the idea. So Melissa McCarthy, as I said, stars in this, and good fun comedy. That will be on Monday. Do Want to tell you, just remind you that coming up in just a couple weeks are the Aquadettes. So tickets are available. You can get those over at Clubhouse 1, 2, 5, and 7, or at the Recreation Department right here in the Community Center. All right, weather is clearing up already, and we should be, I want to say, about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than what we were yesterday, even cooler still on the weekend. As we get to next week, though, probably by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to start to see those temperatures back up into the upper 80s. So nice little dip in the temperatures here. This is great. So go out and enjoy everything. Around the state, a fairly cool weekend for mid-August. As you can see, up and down the coast, we're talking about pretty much just in the 70s or so. And even out in Palm Springs, only 107. Yes, that's hot, but not as bad as it could be. All right, we will see you on Monday. You have a great weekend. Take care.